I hope everyone's having a fabulous holiday weekend. And I didn't even know it was Labor Day weekend until someone said it on Facebook. I just didn't realize that, summer has went by so fast. Seriously. Uh, we're almost into fall here real soon. And I haven't even, I don't know about anybody else, but I haven't even did what I needed to do in my yard for summer. Finished up things. My flower beds, they weren't finished. Kind of like my winter projects. They never got finished either, so I guess it is what it is. But, anyways, um, what I'm going to talk about today is torn friendships. Okay? And I have to say, for the people in the back, this isn't directed at anybody in particular. It's not directed at one particular friendship or one particular community. So, because I notice sometimes when I might talk about something just in general, people, some people, or, might be a group of people, they might be thinking I'm talking about them, and I'm not. This goes way back in the Facebook group days, okay, as well, but you see it a lot more on YouTube. And so, I'm just going to discuss it because I talked a little bit about it before, but you're seeing a lot more of it. And that is, friendships go sour and then things turn really ugly. And grown adults, that's not how we handle things. And, normal people, that's not how you handle it in real life. So why is it like that on YouTube? Again, this is why I was interested in behaviors on social media. This is part of it. And that's why I wanted to talk about a lot of different behaviors when I started my channel, because it just blew my mind the way a lot of people acted. And mostly, I mean, there's men, in the on social media, or they that were in the crime groups or in the drama groups or whatever, but it's mostly women, and the age group is, if you think about it, the majority is middle aged or close to middle aged and beyond. I mean, that's the truth if you look at it. Getting close to middle age. Some of them are younger, yeah, but the majority. And it's pretty sad. And the majority are raising children, or they already, their kids are already, teenagers, or they're grown. And you have to think to yourself, is this how they act in real life? Or is this just a character they play on social media? Because it's very scary. It is. So that, like I said, that's what got me interested in talking about behaviors on social media. So I am going to talk about this bizarre, strange, flip-flopping, just can't walk away when friendships, end. And then how when friendships end, let's rip people apart. Let's do the most disgusting things as grown adults, right? And also something that I've noticed too. Now, again, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I don't, because a lot of these, a lot of people that form the friendships on social media, I'm sorry, You know, they've called each other, you know, maybe FaceTimed, texting and stuff like that. Most have never met each other in real life, never will. Some, a few, have, and they might in the future, but the majority will never ever meet each other, right? That doesn't mean you can't form a friendship on social media, but there, you know, so a lot of people, you know, they're forming these bonds and stuff like that. But the thing is there's, you know, a lot of people are sharing a lot of personal information with, you know, strangers. And there's so much flip-flopping going on. And a lot of times, like I said, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. And, you know, what happens to cause these breakups. But a lot of times it seems like it's not a major thing. Maybe it's major in their eyes. I don't know. But sometimes it seems like because they got to put it out there. They got to put it out, you know, air their dirty laundry out on social media, what happened with these breakups. And they don't seem like they're major, that it's major stuff that couldn't have been fixed off of YouTube. But, you know, it just seems like it's so damn childish. So, you know, we're going to go over it because here's the thing. It just seems like, you know, a lot of people are really getting hurt. And yes, I am going to talk about mental health. A lot of people out there are suffering, and not just from mental health, but other issues. Okay, physical issues. Maybe they're in recovery from addictions. Maybe they have other real life issues going on, you know, in their home, you know, work, whatever, trying to run their channels, just real life stuff. And then they're having to deal with a breakup of a friendship, and then this so-called quote friend putting out their business all over the YouTube streets. So that puts on more stress. And the majority, like I said, are raising kids or, you know, teenagers. Teenagers aren't easy to deal with. Not saying all, but you know what I'm saying. That they have issues too. Even little kids aren't easy to deal with. But what I'm saying is, you know, teenagers, they can be a little more difficult. They're dealing with a lot, you know, peer pressure and stuff like that. So you're putting more stress on that parent over what? Petty bullshit that could have been resolved. So we're going to kind of go over it because I am just wondering, you know, I'm wondering to myself, do a lot of people out there, have they ever had real friends? Do they have real friends? Do you know how to handle conflict in real life? Because this is not how you do it. It's not how you do it. So, I mean, I just don't know. So we're going to kind of, you know, I know it's going to sound stupid, but we're going to kind of take a step back. And for those that have kids, we're going to play a little scenario, right? Of a teenager. You know, like I said, the majority out there, a lot of people have children. So what would you tell your child? Say you got a teenage daughter, okay? You got Stacy here that comes home she's a teenager, and her good friend has a falling out. And she comes home to you and she's upset. And her friend does not, she doesn't want to hang out with her anymore. And she doesn't want to be her friend for whatever reason. And we'll go over some of the different reasons. But let's just say it's just because, okay? There's really no good or bad, okay? This is one scenario. There's nothing really bad going on. It's just because. It could be little, here and there, maybe some bad things, some good things, just typical teenage girl things. It happens, right? Boy issues, just typical teenage stuff. So she asks you, Mom, she doesn't want to be my friend, and I'm mad. We've been friends for a while, and we share friends, and, yada, yada, yada. How am I supposed to deal with this, Mom? I'm hurt. What do I do? You being Stacy's mom, the one that's on, you're on YouTube, okay? You're one of these people that's on YouTube that has had falling outs, right? With all these other people. What is your take on this with Stacy, your daughter? Being her mother, how are you going to direct her to handle this conflict with her friend? I mean, you got to lead by example, right? You got to be the example to your child. She might be, I don't know. Teenagers have social media, the majority, right? So has she already seen, first off, how you are handling conflict on your channel with friends? I don't know. But what are you going to tell Stacy? Are you going to tell Stacy, well, Stacy, this is how we're going to handle it. You're my baby girl. So, in my eyes, you can do no wrong. So, it's all her fault. All her fault. So, the way you're going to handle it is you are going to, every time you see her in school, at the bus stop, when you go out with your friends or whatever, maybe see her at the pizza place or wherever you guys hang out, you're going to call her a bitch every time you see her. You're going to degrade her. You are going to call her every name in the book. All right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to, all the messages that that you guys ever talked about, text, whatever, because, friends, how they are. They will talk about people sometimes, and they might talk about other friends, especially if they're venting. If they have like a little issue about another friend or something, they might say something, like, hey, I'm having an issue with this person, or they made me mad this day, because that's human nature. We're all human. We're not perfect. So one of our friends might piss us off one day just because. And we might be upset with them just that one day. Doesn't mean that we don't like them anymore. Or they might just irritate us. And we might say something to our other friend about them, right? Doesn't mean we don't love them. Doesn't mean we don't like them. But we might say a bad word to our other friend. But we trust that friend that, hey, I'm just having an issue. I just need to vent to somebody. But, Stacy's mom is saying, when so-and-so said to you, or when this girl that doesn't want to be friends with Stacy anymore, when these people are saying to you, or when she said to you, when she was venting about these other people. Yeah, you're going to tell everybody. You're going to tell all your other friends, you know. You're going to spread it around to everybody. You are going to release all of your text messages, all right? All of your conversations that you ever had. You know, get on that internet, baby, on all your free time. That's what you're going to do. Instead of enjoying life, Stacy, instead of moving on, I want you to get on the internet. Don't enjoy real life. Get on the internet and you put all of her stuff out there, every bit of it. That's what you do. That's the way to handle this conflict, because that's what Mama does, and that's what Mama would do. See how absurd that sounds and how stupid that sounds? Is that what you would tell your child, how to handle this conflict with their, how to handle a conflict with their, child that may have a falling out with a friend? Or would you tell your child to maybe sit down and talk with the friend and try to figure it out on why they're having a falling out? Or maybe have a third party in there? If the friendship was that important, if it was a true friendship, and if it was really important, maybe have a third party try to be like a mediator to figure out what went wrong and how can we save this friendship, right? If it was that important. But all this nonsense, I mean, even teenagers, a lot of teenagers will have falling outs and they learn how to fix it on their own. They're mad at each other, right, for a few days or whatever, and they're like, you know what? It's not worth it. We're mad at each other, but this isn't worth it because, we've been friends for so long and it's worth, fixing it. So they won't talk for a few, and then they give each other a ring and say, hey, can we meet up and can we talk? But you have grown-ass, mostly women, it seems like, on YouTube that can't even do that. No, we're gonna put out all the ugly, all the nasty, and we're gonna keep on going and keep on going. And you got some men that are involved too. You just can't let it go. We're just gonna keep on. And like I said, a lot of times it seems like when people have a falling out, it can be something minor, so minor. Again, I don't know what happens behind the scenes, but it seems like sometimes the stuff is so minor that there shouldn't have been a falling out to begin with. Sometimes it could be a misunderstanding or just petty BS. Now, this is not something, like I said, we would not tell our children this is how you handle a conflict when there's a falling out or a beef with a friend. It's not. We wouldn't tell them to go put out all this personal information. Now, sometimes I get it that if somebody puts out personal information or puts out, text because, they can't just walk away, you're going to have to put out information, put out text or whatever to say, hey, this is not how it happened. Because I don't believe in putting out, personal information and personal stuff. I think that's gross. I think it's childish. But sometimes you have to do that to show, hey, it didn't go down that way. This is not how it happened. And then even when sometimes you show it in black and white, people are like, nope, I'm not believing that. I'm not believing it. I'm believing whoever I'm loyal to. no matter what. I mean, it's insane. Now, I do get that sometimes you have to separate yourself from someone who you thought was your friend because they may be toxic. That happens in real life too, right? They may be doing things that is not good for your own mental health, sometimes physical health. And you may have to walk away. And you may have to say, I just have to end this friendship. Those friendships, in my opinion, can't be repaired. Not if they're toxic. There's a difference. And only, individuals will know if people are toxic to their own mental health and if that's why they need to end that friendship. Those are ones, like I said, in my opinion, can't be repaired. But again, you should be able to walk away without having all of your personal BS put out there. Just walk away. Go your separate ways and call it quits. How simple is it? I mean, that's what happens normally in real life, unless you got someone that is a little bit, stalkish or whatever. And then that's when you have to go legal and go to the police and all that stuff. When they won't leave you alone, okay? But seriously. And then you have a lot of people that when they do split, right, they're going to go over to your quote haters and they're going to do this hate bonding. They didn't like these people to begin with. Or, maybe they did when you were friends with them, when everybody was friends. But then when there was a falling out or whatever, and they were still friends with you, when they have a falling out with you, they go running over to your enemy. All of a sudden, their morals, I said this before, their morals change overnight. And they're like, well, I'm not hate bonding. Well, kind of funny that you go running as soon as you have a falling out with your friend. You go running to their quote hater, okay? Or the person that they have the biggest issue with. I mean, come on, people aren't blind. It's so childish. Is it, do you have to fit in somewhere, or do you just do it to get back at the person, the friend that you had, to make a jab at him that I'm with your person that you had the falling out with, ha. Because that's what you see, like, daily. That's not how it happens in real life. It's not. So, it looks like a bunch of middle-aged women, mostly women, not all, mostly women, running around these YouTube streets like teenagers. But worse, because most teenagers act better. They do. That's the God's honest truth. They know how to handle conflict better. I mean, we do have some that, are bullies. That's true. Teenagers can be bullies. But a lot of them do act better. They do. And, here's the other thing, too. I will never understand this. This is a behavior that I just never will understand. And maybe y'all can explain it to me, because I've been trying to understand this for 4+ years. Well, not 4+, 4 years now? I don't think I will ever understand it. When you're friends with someone, okay, you are absolutely okay with their behaviors. okay? Or you're okay with what they do, what they might have got sent, what they send you, the way they act, the way they talk, everything they do. You basically condone it, right? Until you have a falling out. Until you have a falling out, then and only then do you call it out, and then you are outraged. You are outraged all of a sudden. And you might bring things up that happened months ago. Months ago. That they might have sent you or told you, or the way that they acted or whatever. That's not how it works. If you were outraged, you'd have been outraged then. You would have called it out then. Not when you have a falling out. Right? No. You weren't bothered with it when you were friends. So why are you bothered with it? Why is it bothering you now? You're only bothered by it, and you're only calling it out now because you had a falling out. And that's the truth. Right? You didn't have a problem with it when it was happening. You didn't have a problem with it when you were sent certain items or sent certain things, or when when someone talked about certain things, or when people acted a certain way. You didn't care. It was funny. You liked the person. You didn't have an issue with the person. You would have stood up for that person no matter what, and you did. Until you had a falling out. And then all of a sudden, it's a major deal. That's what I've seen in the last 4 years. In groups and on YouTube. Mostly on YouTube. That's not how it works. If someone does something that you're against and you believe that it is disgusting and horrible, you would have been outraged when it happened. When it happened, not when you had a falling out. That's the truth, okay? And you know it. You know it. Is it just to get views? Is it just to, I don't know, money, clicks, super chats? I don't know what it is. Is it to get maybe people to come to your side? I've said it before, some people share those subs, so you're trying to get the subs to choose who are they going to go with after these falling outs between between the friends. Who are they going to choose? Kind of like a custody thing. Are they going to go with this parent or that parent? Who are they going to like better? Who are they going to turn against? They shouldn't have to choose, for one. And all this private information and personal stuff that was told to you as, when you were friends, shouldn't be put out there. It shouldn't. Be an adult and just walk away. Walk away. That's what happens in real life, normally. If you're an adult, that's what happens. Yes, feelings are going to get, you're going to be hurt. But sometimes, if you're quiet for a few days, maybe a week or so, maybe if it wasn't a major deal, if it wasn't a toxic situation, and you're just quiet, maybe you can work it out behind the scenes, right? Maybe you can work out whatever issue it was And if it was a true friendship, save the friendship. Again, that's what happens in real life. Again, that's what I'm wondering. Do some of the people, do they have real friends outside of YouTube? Have they ever? Or is this how they treated their friends in real life? You know, had a falling out with them, so they run to their other friends and spill the beans about what this friend told them? Is that what you did in real life? I have to say, I've said it before, I am so blessed to have awesome friends. And I've said it before too. The majority of them are friends I've had since high school, and some I've met along the way. But the majority since high school. And there was a time, this is how good of friends these people are, where my ex, my children's father, would not let me associate with any of my friends. Okay? That's what happens when you're in a domestic violence situation. They isolate you from your friends, your family. That's what he did. So I wasn't allowed to talk to my friends for a long time. And one of my best friends that was actually I got married young. I was 18 when I got married. Got married after I gave birth to my child, my first child, okay? 6 months, as a matter of fact. She was at my wedding. They hate each other. They always have. Well, he's deceased now, but they never liked each other. But I didn't have contact with them, for a lot of them, for the longest time, because he wouldn't allow me. And they knew it. They knew the reason. And I mean for years. And then he moved me out of state. So I was gone out of the state that I live in now. I was gone for over 11 years. And when I came back, I mean, even before that, I'm trying to see here. Even before that, it was years that I only got to talk to a couple of friends, but not the really good friend that was at my wedding. But I got to talk to a few here and there, just in passing. But like I said, I was gone out of state for 11 years. And when I came back to this state, I got to pick up, because I wasn't with him anymore. You know, I wasn't with him when I was in the other state. I got away from him, and he ended up staying in that state. But long story short, I connected with a lot of them back on Facebook. And when I moved back to the state I'm in now, that's when I reconnected with all of them. Most of them, you know, we move on. A lot of people move to this state, that state, whatever. But we picked up like we were back in high school. And a lot of us, like the one that I stated that was at my wedding, I see her at least every other day. She lives a mile from me, okay? And we are so close, and it's just amazing that a lot of us, I already said we do, I did this in one of my other videos, we do several get-togethers, large get-togethers, every year. And with the C virus, some of them, you know, we didn't get to do that for the last couple of years. And these get-togethers are different, large, like I said, big get-togethers, because a lot of them live out of state now. And they will come, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's like we're back in high school, you know, except we're older. But I get together with a lot of my friends, and besides those big get-togethers, and we go out and we do things, and we reconnected after all this time, and we go out to lunch, and we go out and we do things together. And what I'm saying is that is true friendship, because I lost touch with these people that were good friends back in high school because of my ex, because he wouldn't allow it. But they understood, and they still were there. Okay, they didn't leave. They knew that they. I don't know. I'm blessed. I'm so blessed to have these real friends. And yes, there's been a couple of fallouts with this political. We've all seen it. I'm sure if you're on Facebook, you've seen fallouts with friends over political stuff, family and friends. It was crazy. I was watching it left and right. So people have fallouts. Totally understand that. But I have to say I'm blessed, and all friends do not get along. I have friends, like I said, back from high school. They've had a falling out as time has went on. They were best friends back then, and even, as years went on, but they had a falling out and they don't get along now. I would not go out with the friends, that don't get along. I'll go out with one and not out with the other at the same time. Go out with one and then go out with the other one at a different time. That's how it is. I'm not going to choose. I absolutely won't. And I am not going to lose one friendship because, they don't get along. I ain't going to do that. I'm not going to sit there and let one badmouth the other one to me. Now, if they need to vent, that's one thing. But if they're going to sit there and shit talk all the time, I'm going to say, no. They can vent to me. But if they're going to sit there and talk horrible, horrible stuff, there's a difference between venting and really degrading someone. There's a difference. We're adults. We know that. So I just wanted to say I'm blessed. And I know there's a lot of people out there that have real friends, and they're blessed, and they know what I'm talking about. But I'm just wondering, like I said, do some people really know what it's like to have friendships? Because the way that you flip and flop, and the way you treat people that are, quote, your friends, and put out their information, you wouldn't do that in real life, would you? Or do you? Maybe that's why maybe you don't have real friends. I couldn't imagine doing that in real life. So why would I ever do that on social media? It's gross. It's absolutely gross. So the only thing I can say before I end this is be careful. Be careful who you give your information to because of the flip-flopping. Be careful who you confide in because of the flip-flopping. As you can see, they will use it against you. Right? We've seen it. You feel like someone's your friend, and then if you have a falling out for whatever reason, or if you just, choose to end that friendship, and they put your personal business out there, when you think that you're venting to a friend about maybe something personal that's going on in your life, and as soon as you have this falling out, they decide, I'm just going to tell the world. I'm going to tell everybody on YouTube what you told me that's going on in your real life. Or I'm going to put all these text messages out because you might have said something bad about somebody because, you were having a bad day that day. So I'm just going to put all these text messages out for everybody to see because I don't know how to be an adult. Or I'm going to have this selective outrage because, a month or two ago, I was fine with everything that you sent me, everything I sent you, the way you acted. I was fine with everything until, we had that falling out. And then, oh my gosh, I got morals. I'm not fine with it. I'm not fine with it for some reason. There should be outrage now. Everybody call it out. Oh my goodness. That's not how it works. So I'm going to go. I just wanted to touch base on this fake friendship, okay? Because that's what it was. It seems like, to me, it was fake friendship. If you can't just break apart and say, okay, you don't want to be friends, that's fine. But you got to do all this other ugly stuff. That was not a friendship. It wasn't. It never was. So, anyways, I'm sorry. Getting tongue-tied again. Everyone have a great rest of your weekend. And again, for the people in the back that like to twist things, like a pretzel, make it about them or think it's about them. I mean, if the shoe fits, wear it, I guess. It's not, okay? It absolutely isn't. This is something that I have seen for a while from, a lot of different people. This all goes back to even in groups. But you see it a lot more on YouTube. And it's been going on. It's been going on. So it's not directed at one person, one community. Just putting that out there so, no one wants to think I'm just talking about one person or anything like that, because I'm absolutely not doing that. So just wanted to say that. Again, everyone have a great weekend, and we'll just talk to you again.